Remo hosted Emmydinho in the first leg of their TCCCup quarter-final fixture. Both sides had played out 1-1 draw in the league and were looking to carry that particular form into this game. But all hopes of that were extinguished as early as the first minute, with the goalkeeper coming out to concede a foul, which led to a penalty. Emmydinho would step up as early as the first minute and give Remo Stars the lead in what was an indication of what was to come for the visitors. 1-0 after 2 minutes. Emmydinho were back at the centre, and as they sought to quickly make things different by creating opportunities, they met a staunch wall of Remo Stars who were desperate to make things right after the 1-1 league draw. Emmydinho were creating chances, but it was all to naught as their hosts were desperate to keep a clean sheet and keep things going. Emmydinho were dangerous against the run of play towards the end of the first half, as they continued to see opportunities, but none of them really tested the goalkeeper. On the other hand, Remo were walking towards the goals, and soon they'd have it go their way, with the score changing board as soon as they got into their groove. The goal coming from Emmydinho, who was keen to make it a brace as far as he was concerned. However, before that, they had to labour, and the opportunities that were coming were ones that saw Emmydinho defend staunchly as they held on to the hopes of that 1-1 draw in the league and that they could do it again. However, it all was extinguished after Dada flicked on what was a beautiful finish from the edge of the box. 2-0 it was to Remo Stars. Emmydinho were back at the centre once again, and soon they quickly took the momentum towards the goal as they sought to pull one back to give themselves hope of getting back into the tie. All of it was extinguished swiftly, and soon, down the other end, Remo Stars were punishing them as they made it 3-0. With a calm finish, as Emmydinho sought his hat-trick. It was definitely one that he deservedly got, and he became the first player to score a hat-trick in the Creative Champions Cup. A few things are inevitable in life: death, taxes, and a goal from Remo's under-19 team, as they continued to tear apart Emmydinho like spandex through Miami Beach. It was one that was inevitable as Emmydinho kept calling for more trouble. A fourth goal was on the way, and Ayatu Silman was keen to get in on the act. However, before it did that, Emmydinho would create an opportunity of their own as they sought to reduce the deficit and at least get the away goal that would give them the advantage when the second leg held in Lagos. However, Remo were definitely the ones who got the opportunity to make it 4-0, as they were on a roll and at this point in time looked unstoppable, with Ayatu Suleiman getting in on the act to make it 4-0 after a well-worked pass down the middle and a brilliant finish as he cut inside to put the ball in the near post. 4-0 it was, and it was only in the first half, with Emmydinho looking rudderless. Comebacks had happened before, and it seemed that the motivation from the sidelines were giving the players a chance to keep going. However, it would not be converted to goals, and at half-time they were as high as 4 goals down, the highest deficit so far in the first half of a game, both in the Creative Championships and in the Creative Championships Cup. It was the second half to change for Emmydinho as they sought what was respite. However, Remo Stars were not yet done, and they kept on going as they sought to add more gloss to the scoreline. Whatever Coach Ajibola had told his players in the dressing room had worked a full treat as they continued to go and play as though the game was still scoreless. The front trio were definitely menacing, and Remo were looking to make more and more of the scoreline. Emmydinho themselves had a few chances, but it was all to naught as Remo continued to suck the life out of their opponents, and in the eternal words of Michael Jordan, make them realize there was no hope for them in this game. They continued to suck all the energy out of the life of Emmydinho, who were looking for opportunities against the run of play and were left to feeding scraps. Emmydinho coach Ayeni Ademola was left screaming on the touchline as his boys failed to show any sort of resolve or bite. While for Coach Ajibola on his own touchline, it was more about demanding more from the boys as they sought to make it 5-0. They were looking to become the team to score the most goals in the first leg of the TCCCup, and they definitely looked to achieve it. And despite the chances that Emmydinho created, it was all futile as they failed to find the cutting edge, one that eluded them in the most important hour of need. Remo were definitely deadly, and as they sought to make things more difficult, it was Chuka who came in to put the icing on the cake to make it 5-0. However, before that, there had been opportunities missed, and Remo had to count the opportunity cost of their progression as Emmydinho became more physical as frustration set in. However, the game was not over, and there would be one more goal as Remo went against the runner plate to make it 5-0, with Chuka eventually getting on the score sheet. It was a well-worked team move as usual, and the ball rifling into the top corner as it found the near post. It was a perfect way to end the first leg, and a good note and indicator for the remaining sides in the Creative Championship Cup that Remo's under-19 teams were not yet to joke. At 5-0, things were definitely done and dusted, and this was more a fifth star. Emmydinho were looking for that crucial away goal, with motivations of previous game coming in their way. However, they were not to get it, and 5-0 would be the score in Ikene as they went back to Lagos with the tails in between their legs.